alright. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Health and Wellness Show here on City of Angels, COARadio.com. It is the third Wednesday of the month, so here we are, that one time a month, can't help that pun, that we are here. And we have a very special show this evening, and we are going to speak with Greg Carey. He is an acupuncturist, and he's here in the studio, and we will get to him shortly. But first of all, I want to sit here and thank you all for tuning in. And I would like to welcome our musical director, Ryche Chlanda. How are you this evening?
I'm great. Hello, Maryann. How are you?
I am doing very well. And we also have, who's working very steadily and very hard right this second, is I'd like to say hello to Art Ackerman, our engineer.
Hello.
Yes, the man behind the scenes. And before we get there, last show we had told you that there was going to be a festival that was being held at the Union County Performing Arts Center, a beautiful theater in Rahway, New Jersey. And that festival happened on October 5th, 6th, and 7th. And our very own Ryche Chlanda of Flying Dreams
Thank you.
was there.
Thank you.
And I can't tell you what a wonderful show that you actually put on there. And the standing ovation at the end was incredible, just from that entire theater. And I want to know what was going through your head when you seen everybody just stand up and just couldn't believe it. At 11 o'clock in the morning, you're set.
Yeah, it was great. It was really a cool moment. I've never had a standing ovation before. Not for my own music with this band. You know, playing with Renaissance or these other bands, we've had standing ovations. But when you write songs and when you perform them and you see a bunch of people standing up and applauding and appreciating it, was really nuts. So I was taken back, and it was a great moment for me and the band. It was great.
And the festival was very successful. You also had a meet and greet, too, right after your set.
Had a meet and greet, and
that was an incredibly long line,
It was a great line. Sold a lot. We have a new EP that
Ta-da!
oh, yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's a great cover. Thanks, Jay Petsko is the cover art designer and did the whole EP for us. And he's just a great artist and photographer. And so that's called Searching for Something Somewhere. That was for sale at Prague Stock. Now it's going on to all your digital outlets, iTunes, Amazon, and a bunch of others out any day now. So we're just waiting if you're at the post. And so that was exciting. We had great lines, sold a lot of these things. And people signed, brought CDs, well, actually vinyls from my other bands to sign those too. So we had a great experience and hope to do it again next year. And thanks for asking.
Yeah, it was really a wonderful show.
Yeah, it was great.
You know, it's definitely worth it. And plus, all of the bands that were there had meet and greets. It gave the fans the opportunity to meet everybody, take photo ops. It was incredible.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, we had a great time. Thank you, Tom Palmieri, and Rinaldi for being there for me and for everybody else. It was really cool.
Yeah,
and Marty Dorfman as well.
Everything was incredible. So hopefully that we will be able to.
At this point, knocking something over.
It could have been a spirit. This place, you know, has been known to be haunted. And it is the month of October.
Well, Tom has been known to be with spirits. I'll tell you that. He drinks them, but.
Wonderful. But we also want to tell you that our show has several sponsors for the Health and Wellness Show. Neo Zoe Health and Wellness Center in Cranford, New Jersey. And we have our very own Ryche Chlanda and Flying Dreams as well.
Yep.
The Recovery Spot, New York, and Lifeline Chiropractic, also in Cranford, New Jersey, and most importantly, the City of Angels. The City of Angels is conquering all of our addictions, and if you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, help is available. You just call 609-910-4942. So now, without further ado, because he's been waiting in this whole studio very patiently for us.
Yep.
to get her act together. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a licensed to practice both acupuncture and Chinese herbal medicine in the state of New Jersey by the New Jersey Medical Board and the National Certification Commission for Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. His areas of clinical expertise include pain management, digestive and allergic complaints, and mental emotional well-being, and so much more. I promise during the show he will not leave you on pins and needles. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Greg Carey to the show.
Thank you very much, Maryann. Good to be here. Good to be with you.
I'm excited that you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
And you're putting up with all our shenanigans, which is kind of fun.
The shenanigans are only just beginning, so I'm sure there's going to be more of that.
I'm sure there are.
We do have a surprise for everybody later in the show, but I will keep my mouth shut until then.
Are you trying to keep them in suspense?
Yes, a little suspense, but we're going to have a sing-along later on anyway, so I can't hold a secret for very long. So we're all going to sing a song that Greg chose.
You're making him start to get the nervous breathing. You see this, right?
Well, I'm going to give my best effort. We'll see.
Okay.
See?
I don't make any promises.
By that point, we'll all need acupuncture. So this brings me, it's usually a personal story, Greg, that I hear. So I have to ask you, what piqued your interest in acupuncture and Oriental medicine? How did you get into this field?
Well, I have to say that I think my interest was primarily around non-drug interventions for pain and other problems that people may have, mostly chronic illness, I think. Yeah, that's really why I'm here.
And when you went to study acupuncture, and all, is it something that you just piqued your interest, or was it something that kind of had inside? Because there's a lot of fields, in Oriental medicine and things. So
Well, sure. I mean, I think that, when I was younger, I didn't feel like I knew that I wanted to do something like acupuncture. I feel like for me, it was just as foreign as for most people who've never experienced it. But as a kid growing up with some allergies, I had my, experiences with Western medicine, and sometimes they were not ideal. And I recall like doctors telling me, like when I was diagnosed with asthma, well, is there any long-term cure to this? And it's like, well, maybe you grow out of it if you're lucky. So that type of answer wasn't really satisfying to me. So I think that sort of drove my interest in this type of medicine.
Okay, well, that's usually, like I said, it's usually a personal story, how we find our journey to alternative therapies. And so, from my understanding, you've been in clinical practice for 11 years now? Has it been more than that?
I've been practicing since 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you see most in your practice? Like, what kind of conditions do people come in for? Is it just relaxation and stress, or are you dealing with chronic conditions?
No, I would say most of the time people come with multiple problems. I mean, chronic health issues, chronic pain, knee osteoarthritis, arthritis, back pain, sciatica, neck pain. So pain being a primary complaint, but also people have like maybe chronic sinus problems, allergies, or, people even will come for fertility problems, both male and female. So
Right.
it's quite diverse, the reasons that people will come.
So when somebody's coming in, you don't know exactly what they're coming for.
Well, I like to get a sense of, when people contact me, I like to get a sense of what would be the main reason to come see me. And I think that one person that called recently because they were born with a congenital facial drooping. So one part of their face didn't function as well. And I told them that would be a particularly challenging case to treat. So, I try to be upfront with people what I think I can help. I try to be upfront and let them know if I can help them or not.
Right.
No.
And that's what makes honest practitioners, and I like that, because even for myself, it's about helping the person. It's not about stringing them along,
Yeah.
How was the results of that person with the
Well, I didn't treat them because I didn't feel like I can really.
Oh, okay.
They were too challenging.
challenging?
Yeah, I mean, when it's just been when the disease state's been around for so long, it's sometimes hard to correct.
So you kind of screen them, and
Right.
and yeah, well that's really good. That's really good to do it that way. This way, that you'll have you'll know who your clientele should be.
So then I have a
Yeah.
question for you.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, for our listeners, for people that do not know what acupuncture actually is, can you explain what acupuncture is?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's pretty simple. I mean, you have a needle with it's a
Ouch.
piece of metal, like, right? Doesn't have to be ouch, but depends on why you're coming. So, but it's a piece of metal with a sharp point on it, right? And it's sterile. And basically, what you do is you place this needle through the skin at different depths at various places on the body. That's acupuncture. And so, what you're trying to do is you're trying to affect a change in the body, affect the body function in some way that's going to improve the person's health. And so, like we were talking earlier, it really depends on why people are coming for acupuncture. And again, it might be pain. And if that's the reason, then the objective would be to control their pain, but also in a significant way. So really the pain doesn't come back. Wow. So you really want to have a permanent effect. And that's really my objective in all cases. If I can do that, that's my goal.
Now, is acupuncture something that people have to do maintenance with? Like after you're able to help them, do you tell them to come back? Like how does that work?
Well, again, I think it really depends on the reason that people have a problem. So if it's osteoarthritis, there's some expectation that they're going to have some long-term health issue with that. But I think that if we can get it under control, then the person will have a much increased quality of life, and then maybe they come once a month or something if necessary. But a lot of people, they don't need to come back after the pain is treated. They're good for a long time.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because people are looking for the results. Now,
Yeah.
is it something that if somebody, okay, I'm going to take myself. I come to you. You've screened me. You find out that I might be a candidate for acupuncture. I walk into your office. I am cringing with sweat dripping from my face because I know this is needles. Okay.
Right.
What can I expect in one of your sessions?
Well, first we discuss the reason that you're there and really do an evaluation. So your history, and then and if you're a type of person who feels quite anxious about acupuncture, then we talk about that. What about it makes you feel anxious? And we'll go very easy, very gentle, and just start with maybe a few different areas of the body that you might treat, and try to make you feel comfortable with the process. And then once you feel comfortable, then we could take it from there.
Okay, so I come in, we sit down, and now you've explained it to me, and I'm laying there at your mercy because you're the one with the needles, not me, okay? And you start placing them or doing whatever you're doing, okay? Have you ever had somebody like you start doing it and they're like, oh, wait a minute, I don't know if I could keep doing this? Or do they lay there and just be like, this doesn't really hurt. It's not that bad.
No, I mean, it does happen that people, I think it's not actually the lived experience of it being uncomfortable. It's more that people themselves have some pre-existing anxiety that contributes to the reason that they feel like they can't sit there or lay there for 20 minutes, whatever the time is,
How long does it take, or does it depend on the condition? How long does it take to put the needles in?
Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on what we want to do. What's really important when you do acupuncture is not only putting the needle in, but also manipulating it so you have a positive effect on the local tissue. And that's really part of how acupuncture works, is that you need to place the needle in the correct place, but then also you want to make sure that you have the correct stimulation. That's done by moving the needle, rotating it, moving it up and down the tissue, and that's critical for the proper results. And unless you have the proper training experience, you're not going to have the optimal result with acupuncture. So that's another factor that should be considered when people are getting acupuncture, is that what's happening actually with the needle is as important as where you put it.
Right.
So that's what I'd like to add to that. I don't know if I really answered your question.
No, actually you did. And so then after you get all those needles in, do you stay in the room or do you leave the room? Like what happens and how long does somebody sit there like that?
Yeah, when I put the needles in, then people generally feel comfortable enough and you're on the table, and I put some relaxing music on, and then I can leave the room for maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes while people can rest, maybe take a nap. And then I come back and I leave people always with a bell. So if you're uncomfortable, you can let me know by ringing the bell, and I'll come and check on you, say, hey, what's going on? How can I help you?
Right. Do you get a lot of bells that ring?
Not usually, actually.
So then you get your wings. What is that every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings?
That's what I think about. And sometimes that's good, I guess, in that sense. Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So then you come back in the room. Some people may still be asleep. I can't help it because I have to know.
This is like a roast for you. You're getting roasted today,
Sure, it's okay.
It's an inquiring mind. So, okay, you come back in the room. I'm I'm asleep or awake, whatever, it doesn't matter. Then you come in and you take out those needles.
Right. Generally, they're very easy to take out, but it takes more time to put in because you're having to manipulate them. But they come out pretty quickly.
They do.
Yeah.
So if I want to run, I could run after you're
Oh
done.
yeah. So, but I haven't had. Thankfully, I've not had that happen. That people, there's no fires that have occurred when I'm doing acupuncture, like in the movies. But it's it's safe, and at the end, and people generally feel relaxed. Actually.
I do have to say this. I am doing this all in fun because I hear so many times if I refer somebody to acupuncture, like, I don't know if I could do that. It's the needles. And I honestly have to tell you, honestly, on air, that I've never had acupuncture done.
Sure.
Because I am one of those people that have those preconceived notions because I've heard all kinds of things. And some people absolutely love it. And then there's other people saying, well, maybe it wasn't for me. So I
Right.
understand.
Right.
So, but what I do have to say is, first of all, thank you for all the referrals because you
Sure.
do send people our way, and we work really well as a team from what I'm hearing. And the thing is that everybody unanimously loves you. Your patients absolutely love you. They come in, and I'm telling you, if your ears aren't ringing from what they say about you, then there's something wrong because
Well, Christmas time, once in a while, people would bring me some thank you gifts, so that's nice. They brought me if I can say this, some spirits, holiday spirits. And that type.
oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So after a hard day, you could just go home and chill.
We
and
come in
relax.
handy after the holidays.
City of Angels, absolutely. So, but what's really nice though is I really have to say they come in, they say I've been relieved or I've never had acupuncture. You made it very easy.
Yeah.
I hear how knowledgeable you are and how comfortable you make people, and I hear it time and time again about you, Greg. So, it's your accolades for you.
Well, and patients say great things about you too, and I think that's really why I began to send people your way,
Thank
is
you.
because I had really great feedback from your work too.
Well, thank you. And it's quite a team. So for all of you that are both of our clients, or even just Greg's, thank you. Thank you so much,
Yeah, pretty
for,
amazing.
for
Pretty
trusting
amazing.
your health with us, and
And acupuncture is, well, Chinese medicine has not been here for 10 years. It's been here for how long? It's been here for a long time, Greg, yeah?
A long time, and it's been in continuous use for maybe thousands of years.
Yeah, okay.
But only now that we see that there's more and more clinical evidence, there's more and more systematic reviews that contribute to an evidence base that supports the use of acupuncture for a multitude of conditions, including back pain, migraine headache, tension headache, nausea, post-surgical pain. There's a lot of reasons that acupuncture can be used, and there's the growing evidence base that really supports its use. So, if you go to pubmed.gov, you can see the trials that study acupuncture.
Okay. Well, if you're just joining the Health and Wellness Show here on COARadio.com, you could become part of the show. Or if you have any questions about acupuncture, our expert is right sitting next to me, can answer your questions. And you could call us at 609-241-7103. So I do have another question because it is a question that our listeners will ask. With regards to cost for acupuncture, how much can one pay for your sessions, and do you accept insurance?
I do accept insurance. I'm in network with 3 insurance carriers: Horizon, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, and United Healthcare. So those are 3 that I participate with. So if people have those plans, then they may have coverage for acupuncture. So that could be an option for people, which obviously makes it great, because then if you have a condition that requires acupuncture, that's fantastic. So there is that benefit if you do have one of those 3 insurance plans and you would like to see me, but there's obviously other providers in those networks. But aside from that, if you wanted to pay cash, then my initial treatment fees would be $140 or $150, depending on which office, because I have 2 offices, one in Westfield and one in Old Bridge.
Okay.
Follow-ups would be either $80 or $85, depending on the office.
Gotcha. Okay. And how can someone schedule an appointment with you?
Call our office or Google Old Bridge Acupuncture or Health in Motion. If you want to see in Westfield, I'm there in Westfield, or Greg Carey in Westfield, or Greg Carey in Old Bridge. I have 2 different websites, but healthofmotion.biz and oldbridgeacupuncture.com. So see those websites.
That, and I also have the phone numbers of both offices that we can give out.
Even better. So if you need that, yeah.
So for Old Bridge Acupuncture and Wellness Center, that number is 732-952-5944, or Health in Motion in Westfield, New Jersey. That number is 908-301-9055. So that way they can contact you.
I like how you said that. You have a really great voice.
Oh, thank you.
That's a great voice.
As long as you're not in the wrath of it. No, I'm only kidding.
No, really, and we have been here in the wrath of it, but well, that's a whole different story.
That's why they're going to need acupuncture for relaxation, Greg. That's what he's telling you.
Our number here is 1-900.
All right, I see you looking at our acupuncturist intently. You have a question. Have you ever had acupuncture?
No, actually, I'm just taking it all in because I have not. I mean, I'm aware of it and I've seen it, but I've never had it myself.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have any questions, please, by all means.
Oh, I have a lot. I'm not kidding. Plus, I also have some when they found out you were going to be on the show. Actually wanted me to ask you some questions, so we're going to be doing that. But I do want to talk about one of our sponsors right now, and that is NeoZoe Health and Wellness Center in Cranford, New Jersey. And NeoZoe is a very unique holistic wellness company recognizing the interconnection of body, mind, and spirit, and the importance of creating complete wellness in a nurturing and comforting environment. NeoZoe is creating new life through balanced living using nutrition, massage, and so much more. You can find them on the web at www.neozoe, that's NEOSZOE.com, or by calling their office at 732-713-0123. That's NeoZoe Health and Wellness Center in Cranford, New Jersey. So, Greg, getting back to you. I can't help myself with acupuncture. So, with massage, because people ask me this question, so I don't know if people ask you this. Sometimes people wonder when they're coming into a session, do they have to come in and undress and go under blankets, or is it just isolated for the part that you're going to work on, or how does that work?
Exactly, the latter. So yeah, people have wrist pain, then we're not going to ask you to become naked
Right.
for that. And likewise for neck pain, just maybe just above your shoulders, and if necessary, any other part that's involved with your condition, then we treat that. But then we can drape you if we need to have more articles of clothing removed. But always with the consideration that the patient feel comfortable in anything that we do. So that's priority number 1.
Yeah, and that's one of the questions that I was asked to ask you, like, how does this happen, particularly for back and sciatic pain.
Sure.
And they were asking, do you do the whole back? Do you go down the legs? Like, how do you treat sciatica if somebody's to come in?
Right. So that's a good question. So, if people have sciatica, I'll describe what sciatica is if people don't know. So sciatica is a nerve type pain that originates either in the lower back or your buttock and radiates down, typically down the back of your leg, all the way down to your foot. People may experience tingling, that's called paresthesia, down to their foot, or numbness, as well as pain that can vary. Typically, sciatica could be worse with sitting or standing, variable positions. And this type of pain is really uncomfortable, and it makes you unable to work, really, if it's bad. You can't really move out of your chair. So what acupuncture can do is we really try to get to where that pain is with the needle and reduce the inflammation and swelling that may be associated with this type of condition. So when people get treated for sciatica, typically in my clinic, what I have them do is I have them lie face down on a massage table, just like you might have. And then I put needles on their lower back and their leg, the back of their leg. And then actually I attach the needles, some clips, and use a very mild electric stimulation to reduce the pain at those points. And actually, the electric current gets transmitted from the machine through the needle deep into the tissue, and that's what's significant. So actually, the needles are metal, so you can imagine that they conduct a little bit of electricity.
Right.
But I've never had a patient levitate off the table, so it's really, it's not that high of an electrical current that's really being transmitted. So.
Just their hair standing on end.
Sometimes, yes, like that.
I love it. Well, right now we're going to take a few moments and we are going to hear from a commercial break from our sponsors. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back on the Health and Wellness Show. Are you constantly living with dysfunction in your life? If so, there's help. NeoZoe, New Life Through Balanced Living, is a very unique holistic wellness company that's here to help you preserve a healthy balance and eliminate any dysfunction. We use an individual approach through nutrition, massage, and various other holistic practices. You can restore your optimal health and a healthy lifestyle. Visit us on the web at neozoe.com or call us at 732-713-0123.
If addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues control your life, and you are ready for change, the Recovery Spot offers expert outpatient care for addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues. We offer focused, high-quality treatment specifically designed for you. The Recovery Spot, we offer new hope for those suffering from pain and addiction. www.recoveryspotny.com. We're located in New York City.
Welcome back to the Health and Wellness Show here on COARadio.com. And again, if you'd like to call in with any of your concerns about acupuncture, want to learn about something, or maybe have a condition that you're dealing with or a discomfort that Greg can answer your questions, please feel free to call in. Don't be afraid. You know, we're not going to stick you with anything or do anything harmful to you. So the number is 609-241-7103. And we are back, Greg. And you were just telling us specifically about sciatic pain, because it's a common pain that I hear people have as far as condition. Now, with back issues, and if somebody has compression problems or bulging disc problems, things of that nature, is acupuncture a modality that can help?
Yeah, if you mentioned like some spinal disease, like they have disc bulging or herniation, then people with those conditions may or may not have pain. It's not always true, even if you have that condition as a diagnosis, that you have symptoms. Because as you age, that type of problem is very, very common. But I would say maybe 50% of people who have some evidence of spinal disease on the MRI or X-ray, maybe they don't have symptoms. But if you do, then acupuncture can help you by alleviating the pain at your spine and regulating the muscular tissue around your spine as well. If it's very tight, then we can adjust that, we can regulate that and relax it.
Okay. And because I do have that as a common complaint that comes in, you know, and I see it more and more in younger people now, like where we always thought, oh, is that as we age, this happens to your spine. And it could be from injuries,
Right.
you know, things of that nature. Acupuncture, and by saying that, is it for everyone, like even children, you know, through, you know, adulthood and even to geriatric and all, who would be, I would assume everybody would benefit from acupuncture, but is there any guidelines with children or things of that nature?
Well, you know, it depends on the practitioner's experience level and their comfort level, what they might treat. But, you know, my teacher who has experience treating stroke patients to rehab them with acupuncture, he also treats infants. So a baby who had suffered a stroke during their delivery, during a tough labor, he treated this 8-month or 7-month-old baby and really helped to restore the baby's range of motion in his arms. He lost some movement and motor function in his limbs. So acupuncture in an infant is specialized, and not every practitioner is experienced in that type of thing. I don't really treat infants, but I treat children through adults and older people. But it is, you can totally do it and you can have a good result. And if you have experience treating that, then that's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So knowing that, here on City of Angels, they help everybody from addiction to recovery. And so I have a question for you, for those that might not be considering acupuncture because they might just not be educated about it enough. How can acupuncture assist somebody that is in recovery?
Right. So this is a question towards like someone who might be suffering from an addiction and trying to begin the process or is in the process of a recovery from that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Since the 1970s in New York City, acupuncture has been used specifically for this case, and it's called NADA. If you Google NADA acupuncture detox protocol, it's a series of acupuncture points on your ear that are used specifically for this purpose to help the person to relieve irritability and stress and overall nervous system excitation. So We can go into specifics if you like about what acupuncture does in this case, but basically it's ear acupuncture to help the person, the brain, and the mind and the body to become balanced again through this process.
Yeah, I would like to go into detail about it because our listeners might need the help from you and your expertise. Is that somebody comes into your office, they have this. Now you did say some things. We were talking about the back before and sciatic and the wrist, and now you just said brain. So how does that work with the brain, and how do you do that if somebody was to walk into your office?
Yeah, right. So acupuncture, we're treating both the local problem. You put a needle in your hand, we're going to affect what's going on in your hand, the tissue there. But also that's going to have an effect on your brain and spinal column pretty rapidly. It's been shown in studies that acupuncture rapidly affects the hypothalamus in your brain. And also other centers in your brain. fMRI studies have been conducted to demonstrate this. But when it comes to addiction, what we really want to do is really want to activate the parasympathetic system of your nervous system. This is the nerves in your body that are responsible for controlling things like your heart rate, your respiratory rate. Basically, we can think of it as a system that helps you rest and digest. So this is what we want to really support that system when people are really stressed out and they're going through a traumatic time or trying to recover from some psychological or other injury. Really want to support that injury, that state of your body to be well, and acupuncture can do that quite well.
Okay. And if somebody was to walk in, is it something that they would have an immediate effect from in some cases, or I'm assuming every case is different. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, so if we're speaking towards someone who is in the process of addiction recovery, it's obviously going to be a process. They're not going to come in and say like, oh my God, the light switch is turned on or off and I feel better now. That is a difficult process, and you need other modalities to help support you, like counseling and support groups. So there really needs to be a multi-pronged support effort here. But acupuncture, in this case, in addiction recovery, can certainly play a role and really help the person to integrate the experience of really a new type of life that they want to create for themselves, a healthier life. And acupuncture could be a critical piece in kind of calming the mind, calming their body, and actually connecting people to a part of themselves that they may not be aware that they have.
Great.
Right.
Wow.
Well, with addiction, I know that it could be a tricky thing. And one thing that you brought up is, doing it with other modalities, which I completely agree with you. And one thing that I always hear, I hear about all these programs and things that are offered, but one thing I never hear mentioned is acupuncture. Is it something common that you deal with the recovery? Because I'd like to get the word out. If it's something that can help, it's something new to me. I admit that. So that's why you're here as my expert. For those people that who are listening that might need this, I've never actually heard it. And I've heard of Reiki, I've heard of yoga and
Sure.
other things, but I've never really heard acupuncture in the mix of it all. So I find it very interesting.
Yeah, well, again, acupuncture is something that a lot of people may not consider, whether it's for pain or maybe some gastrointestinal problems or sinus problems. But again, there's a growing pile of evidence that says that acupuncture can be really useful in these contexts. And so it's true also with addiction, and it's been used since the 1970s. And so I think it's something that people really should consider if that's something that they really are struggling with and they really want to create a new life for themselves, and they can really be supported by acupuncture in that process.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. Yeah, and for those that are listening, because acupuncture, like I said, is new, how can people find you again? So this way, if they have any questions or they'd like to come in, how can they find you?
I think that if you visit one of two websites, oldbridgeacupuncture.com or healthinmotion.biz, that's biz, then you can find me, then Westfield and Old Bridge, New Jersey. But certainly there's many, many qualified practitioners out there. And if you are not in the local area, you can go to the National Acupuncture Board website, nccaom.org, and you can search for a practitioner who lives near you. And you can find a board-certified acupuncturist who will be able to help you. And these protocols for addiction are very straightforward. They're not complicated. So really, any trained acupuncturist would be able to help you, I think.
Okay. No. Thank you very much. So, again, just give us that website that they can go to for if they want finding an acupuncturist in their area.
Oh yeah, it's N is in Nancy, and then C is in cat, C is in cat, A is in alpha, O is in orange, and M is in Mary.org. So nccaom.org.
All right, perfect. I might ask you again for that as well. So make sure you have your pens ready next time because that was a mouthful. And I'm just going to go to another sponsor of our show here on Health and Wellness at cityofangelsradio.com, and that is the Recovery Spot. They're innovating recovery with cutting-edge addiction treatment and outpatient recovery for drugs and alcohol, offering state-of-the-art medical approaches combined with personalized treatment. They are physician-owned and operated by Dr. Ramesh Sawhney and Dr. Scott Bienenfeld, and the Recovery Spot. They're innovating recovery, and you could visit them at www.recoveryspotny.com, or you can call them at 866-677-6869. And we were just there. They had their open house, right, Rich, last Thursday at the Recovery Spot.
Yep, we had some fun doing some Facebook Lives, and we were there with Road Recovery. Road Recovery is cool because it just has a bunch of music people, rock stars and stuff that are into helping people get through their addictions and their recovery and stuff like that. You have something like that. What is yours, Art?
Recovery Unplugged.
Recovery Unplugged.
And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They're based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's actually Ryche Supa from Aerosmith fame.
Yeah. So that's great. So a lot of people that see drugs around them and stuff, are part of these organizations to help.
Yep, and that whole program is music is therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean with them.
Yeah, well, it is.
And they have a lot of satellite offices, so we've actually partnered with them now. They have a thing now called Feel Good Fridays that's from 2 o'clock until 4 p.m. So I've been simulcasting it. I put a
that's great.
Recovery Unplugged page up, so we
that's great.
simulcast that on Fridays as well.
And how do people find out where their location is at your satellite office?
Actually, they could go to either coaradio.com or cityofangelsnj.org, either one of those two websites, and you will see on the right-hand side a Recovery Unplugged. And if you click on that, it'll take you right to their main website, which will give you information on all their locations, how to contact them, what their program consists of. And,
Okay, perfect.
yep.
So, Art, it's good seeing you, man. I haven't seen you since the Rock Fest.
It's been a while. Yeah, I know. I heard a lot of that yesterday, too.
So that was a great thing. Art through Rock Fest at Mercer County Park. We played there. Mad Dog Vinny Lopez played there. Tony Luke was there. Maryann was there, and we had a great time.
They were all asking for you yesterday, too. We were all together yesterday.
Oh, yeah? Oh.
We did a golf fundraiser type thing. So Trevelise came out, was riding around on the golf cart.
Saw that.
And
Yeah, man.
Tony was riding around on a golf cart. And,
So he's sick. That's
and
why he's
spoke
sick today.
last night.
Oh,
Yeah,
he did?
probably. It was cold and damp yesterday.
Yes.
And, he had his parka on, too. Right?
The more I get to know Tony Luke, he's kind of a cool guy, isn't he? Kind of a
is
nice guy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
Exceptionally loving person and great energy.
Yeah, he just has a great passion for the mental health aspect of addiction that people don't get. You don't give them 30 days in treatment and send them off.
Right.
There's underlying issues on why they're using. And there's two types. There's party people and those that are masking something. So you have to find out what that underlying thing is. If they're a party person, well, it makes it a little easier. If they're masking a problem, we need to find out what that is and fix it.
Well, we were talking-
Otherwise, it's a revolving door.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about this before when I just met Greg today, and we were talking about some of the mental health stuff and some of the triggers through acupuncture can actually help. So
So it's an interesting point. So I think that, like you're saying, Art and Rich, that people may have some emotional issues, from past traumas that they may be suffering from, and that may be a trigger for them to maybe begin using substances at some point. the part of our brain that stores emotions and processes emotions is called the limbic system. So this is an area of your brain that over time that people can that become activated with certain scenarios, social situations, or pain of loss, pain of grieving, things like that. Acupuncture can actually regulate that part of your brain in a really helpful way. So that's one way how we can hope to help the person is by helping to regulate that part of your brain that processes emotions.
Now, do you think, when would be a good time to do that? Do you think like after someone, if they can get 28 days or 38 days in some type of an inpatient treatment, that's like a miracle. I mean, it's nowhere near enough, but, it's better than nothing. Would you suggest after that they could,
Well, ideally,
benefit from acupuncture?
I would suspect that during that process would be great if, while they're actually an inpatient, that if there was a program there that would be available to them to help them with that process.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Is there anything in acupuncture that would assist with detoxing?
Detoxing in what way? Like,
Anybody, no matter what addiction it is, whether it be alcohol or some type of a drug, when we pull them off the streets and get them into treatment, the first step is to detox their body before we can even, move forward to the next step with them.
And yeah, during that process, the person might have physiological symptoms, right? From stopping using the substance. They might have some problems with their body, how it works, right?
Right. It goes, their body would go into withdrawal. Violent withdrawal.
Well, yeah, they could be pretty upset. Is that the right word? Right?
Well, everybody reacts differently, but it's a painful process because your body is detoxing,
Right.
Possibly years of, opioid abuse or, whatever it happens to be.
Well, I have to say, because I haven't actually worked with a large population of people in that process who want to go through the detox, I can't comment to the specific nature of the nuts and bolts. Like, okay, when someone's going through this, how does this help you? But I am aware that acupuncture could be a useful tool during that process.
Something that really lacks in the whole recovery process is, after they get that 28 or 30 days, in an in-treatment program, what's there for them afterwards? We're pursuing, health and wellness and,
Yes.
Counseling and,
And
therapy.
music therapy, guitar lessons, song, that's we all do that. But
Yeah, massage therapy too. You
massage
can integrate
therapy
that
too.
into the treatment
But
program.
but acupuncture, just to keep them on the right track, seems acupuncture would be one of the key items to relax them, to get them on the road to being healthy.
Well, I can speak to the fact that we've had people who run Department of Veterans Affairs programs with PTSD, and that acupuncture has been tremendously helpful
Oh, see.
for PTSD individuals.
Oh,
Well, see, that's the thing that Kevin
that's
and I run into. It's very hard for us to get help for our kids because not a lot of people are lining up to help an addict. But if we can throw that military aspect into it, they line up to help a veteran. You know what I mean? So, there's veterans with addiction problems. So if we use them as the guinea pigs to get these programs to prove that they work, because we're looking at hyperbolic chambers and and that type of thing right now. They work for traumatic brain injuries, and to me, heroin's a traumatic brain disease. So.
Right.
And it could help, but you have to follow protocols to.
Well, yes. Plus, you need to show the case studies, what the improvements are and all. And it seems like it's such a long process, but yet you want to help everybody, and we have to unfortunately go through the chains, if you will.
And our thing is it's worth pursuing, right? We waste lots of money on
Oh yeah,
things.
no doubt.
We're in an epidemic. Show me any other disease. If we said we were losing 73,000 people a year, to cancer, it would be different than we're losing 73,000 people a year to an addiction.
And we are losing that much, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yes.
absolutely.
We
That-
are, so.
So we're in the throes of an epidemic that really needs to be addressed, and we're just keep putting Band-Aids on it.
Feels like it's an uphill battle. It's still an uphill
Kevin and I
battle.
said we've been doing this for 10 years, and it's getting worse. The deaths are going up; they're not going down. It should be going the other way.
And it's because of after those 28 days.
Please put me out of business.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I hear you. And I know how
Yes.
dedicated you and Kevin and the crew is. But Art, after that 28 days, what does happen? I mean, are there?
Well, what is there for somebody? Sober living is a must. You know what I mean? Because you have to be kept in check, and you have to be kept accountable.
Don't you have to replace something?
Well, you know what? What is it that There's NA meetings and AA meetings, but it seems most people prefer AA meetings and sober living. And you go out and get a job and you start your life back. There's not help you get your license back, help point you in a financial direction. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's just no help that way. Health and wellness, like there should be a place for them to to work out.
There should be, and it also
That's affordable. I mean, they're coming out of treatment, they're rebuilding their lives. They don't have a lot of resources, so they don't have a lot of money. Most of them didn't have insurance. They do once they start this process because we help them get insurance now. It's a must. I mean, even if it's through the state, there's programs that accept that now.
And folks want to feel better and get back on track, right? People want to, because if you feel better, you do more things, right? I mean, and acupuncture, massage, chiropractic.
There's a lot of different options. I mean, I'm listening intently because this is a whole new thing to me.
It was new to me. That's why I was excited to have Greg on the show.
That's why it's great that
I'm
he's
sitting
here.
here taking this all in. Is how can this help addiction?
See,
How can this help my kids?
You're foreign to us, but it's very, very important that you're here to turn on this community to you. So it's wonderful that you are here.
Well, it's just something that people don't really know a whole lot about.
You're welcome.
And the more educated people get, the more likely they are to, to seek it or use it or try it, right?
Well, no, I can appreciate your point about the cost that people who are coming through out of addiction, they may not have the resources to afford the different treatment regimens, and even the addiction treatment centers, they're exorbitantly expensive.
Right.
The ones that you may be staying over at are tremendously expensive. Really, mostly they're covered by insurance. I think now they were mandated to be covered by the Affordable Care Act. Prior to that, I wasn't aware that they were being covered by most insurances.
But see, this administration killed most of that. So your treatment options aren't the same that they were 2 years ago. They're a little bit harder to get into.
They are, but one thing I do have to bring to the forefront is, until you were here, Greg, I hear about acupuncture helping everything else. And as soon as I walked in, I have to admit, it's one of the first questions I asked Greg: can acupuncture help addiction? And he knew all about it, of what he was telling us. And
he lit up when you talked about that too. Like he wants to help. That's what we just met today, and he's a warm guy. He's very warm. You could see he's concerned, and he knows his stuff. And that's what's important.
I almost feel like we have to have like a health and wellness. I feel like
a wealth and wellness.
Wealth and
I
wellness.
messed up at one time.
A health and wellness like forum where you could have people come in and talk about how you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Different aspects of health and wellness could affect addiction or help with it or whatever, and that's everything from the stuff that Dr. Sawney does to
because folks don't know, right? People don't know. Folks don't know.
Chiropractic, all that. I know.
Massage, yeah.
And that's what this show is for here on the Health and Wellness Show.
Well, thank you, Maryann.
To bring it to the forefront.
Thank you for having us.
Well, I was just thinking about that while we're here because we actually, like every 2 years have a red forum. And that red form is for law enforcement on, the things that they can do to, I mean, look where we are now. I mean, police departments are calling recovery coaches rather than putting you in jail.
I'm putting it out there now. If you need a health forum, you let me know, because the more that people are educated.
Well, it just hit me on our off year. One year we could do the red forum. The off year we could do the health forum.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And every 2 years, I'm sure there'll be leaps and bounds in science, right? On where things.
So I do have a question. It's going to bring me back to this, but first, I do want to say something about City of Angels again. They are here at Conquering Our Addictions, and if you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, help is available. And you can call City of Angels directly at 609-910-4942. And they work strictly on donations. So if you'd like to make a donation, you can visit their website at www.cityofangelsnj.org, and you can click the donation tab and enter any denomination you like. And in the special instructions, if you put a donation for the Health and Wellness Show, we will make you an official sponsor of the show for 30 days. So again, it's www.cityofangelsnj.org, or you can call them at 609-910-4942. So Greg, I have a question for you, because this just brought it up, this whole open forum thing. People come for discomforts or conditions. Can acupuncture be used in preventative ways, for preventative medicine, so to speak?
Yeah, traditionally acupuncture was used at the seasonal change. So when the seasons change, the body usually will suffer some problems. So, for example, when the weather changes, Art, I think you were saying someone you knew was ill with the damp, cold weather. One thing that people, I think historically understood was that our environment affects our health. So, depending on our exposure to the environment and some environmental factor, like cold or heat, then we suffer. I think now there's a very curious disease in farm workers in Latin America, but now it's spreading to the United States, that they suffer at an early age some kidney failure, and it seems to be linked to their experience in the field in the hot weather. So indeed, the environment affects our health and well-being, and these people who have this kidney failure, they die very young. Again, it seems to be linked to their exposure in the hot weather. They're working outside all day. There really is no shade for them. Maybe they're dehydrated. The weather affects us.
Right.
And so acupuncture can be used when the seasons change to regulate our bodies so that we're less likely to have these problems or become ill.
No, and that's a good point, because sometimes when you're in this field, we always hear, or I've heard, at least with me, you are my last resort. I've tried everything else.
Right.
But when you talk to them, you find out they haven't tried everything holistically, or alternative therapies. And you find out this, and you're like, well, you should do something for preventative. We should be the first stop.
Well, can you use acupuncture to quit smoking and things like that?
Well, that was my next thing for other addictions.
Does that read in your
Absolutely.
mind? Yeah.
Yeah,
You are reading my mind.
It can be used as a supportive therapy. I mean,
Well, so again, it could alter behavior then, right?
it will help to relieve your irritability and cravings. And the experience that people will have when they're coming for acupuncture, if they're trying to quit smoking, will be that hopefully they can experience some peace. And, I think in that space, the body and the mind feels agitated because of the withdrawal of the substance. So if we can create an environment that they feel more comfortable and at peace, then that's a space we really want to encourage. And that could be used with meditation, mind-body activities. If you do things like Tai Chi or Qigong, those are excellent ways to really get to that place that your body can feel in harmony. And that's one of the goals, too, of acupuncture, is really to bring harmony to the body. So the image classically of harmony in Chinese medicine was an endless silk ribbon blowing in the wind. And that was an image that can be conveyed, that you can think about what can harmony be, and just this endless floating ribbon.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Absolutely. So before we go any further, if you're just joining the Health and Wellness Show, you could call us at 609-241-7103. But we're going to take a few minutes to hear from our commercial sponsors. We'll be right back. Are you constantly living with dysfunction in your life? If so, there's help. Neo Zoe, New Life Through Balanced Living, is a very unique holistic wellness company that's here to help you preserve a healthy balance and eliminate any dysfunction. We use an individual approach through nutrition, massage, and various other holistic practices. You can restore your optimal health and a healthy lifestyle. Visit us on the web at neozoe.com or call us at 732-713-0123.
If addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues control your life, and you are ready for change, Recovery Spot offers expert outpatient care for addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues. We offer focused, high-quality treatment specifically designed for you. The Recovery Spot, we offer new hope for those suffering from pain and addiction. www.recoveryspotny.com. We're located in New York City.
Hi, this is Ryche Chlanda from Flying Dreams, and you're listening to City of Angels Recovery Radio.
Welcome back to the Health and Wellness Show.
I could do
here.
that impersonation perfectly for him.
Absolutely.
He's my idol, that guy. I love him.
Rich Chlanda is your idol.
He is.
Somehow I kind of figured that.
Okay, well, just saying.
If you're just tuning in, you are listening to the Health and Wellness Show here on COARadio.com. You can be part of the show and call in about any acupuncture questions you have. Greg here has been full of knowledge and really educating all of us on things that we don't know about acupuncture and how it can help. So if you have a question or even a loved one that you know that might be able to use it, please call us at 609-241-7103. And I'm going to put out there, if you've been to Greg and you know all about him like I do, feel free to call our show again at 609-241-7103. I promise we won't poke fun at you. I couldn't help that. Sorry.
I always appreciate a good acupuncture pun. That's
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
So I did some research on you. And something beside acupuncture, you have completed advanced apprenticeship in the treatment of skin disease with herbal medicine. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I'm inquisitive about this.
Yeah. So it turns out there is you can use herbal medicine for. That's what I do. Also, I'm an herbalist, and you could use it for a lot of different problems. But skin disease is one of them. So people might be suffering from like psoriasis or eczema or rosacea, even acne. I have some high school patients, some students who have acne, and then they come to me, and we give them some herbs, and their skin clears up.
It does clear up because you're getting to the source of the issue.
Exactly. So these type of things you want to treat internally, and the herbs can really have a good effect on that type of problem.
Do you combine herbal medicine with the acupuncture?
Oh yeah, always, usually.
Usually, so you get a better result because you're treating it both times.
So I want to speak to, my teacher his name is Mazen Al-Kafaji. He's based in England, in the south of England, in a town next to Brighton called Hove. And he was elected to the National Chinese Academy of Herbal Medicine. He's like one of the first foreigners to be on that body. And he has tremendous expertise, 30 years experience in treating skin disease exclusively with herbal medicine. And he has been able to transform lives with the work that he does. And people come to see him from around the world. They come from China, from India. And people are really looking for something that's not going to be a non-drug treatment that's going to have a long-term result. And when you think about drugs for psoriasis, it's a lifetime treatment, and they're going to suppress your immune system. So then you're going to be at risk for cancers and other problems. So those are not ideal. So that's the whole reason, again, that I'm in this type of field, to offer people an alternative that really doesn't involve some harsh medicine that's going to have some significant side effects for their body.
Well, that's amazing. Now, you served as a past subject matter expert to the Exam Development Committee and Herbal Board of the National Certification Commission of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. So what does that mean?
Well, I guess it's an academic post, and it's really, I guess, nerdy if you want to call it that. But I was one of the few people in the United States that was on the National Certification Commission, and my job was to really write the exam questions for the Herbal Medicine Board. So if somebody who's listening to this wants to become an herbalist or an acupuncturist, you have to pass 4 national board exams, one of them being the Herbal Medicine Board, and perhaps you'll come across some questions that I wrote.
Wow. Well, you just beat me to it because I understand you are honored to be part of the few licensed acupuncturists in the entire United States who have served the National Certification Commission of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. So congratulations on that.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
And that you were selected. So I think that says a lot about you. And I do have to say, Greg, you are very humble about everything. And then I started doing a little bit of research on you, and little things were starting to come up, and I'm just like, wow.
I mean, my intent is really to let the results speak for themselves. So if the patient has a good experience, they have a good result, then that's enough for me. And I think that, that's the most important thing, is that if people have a good outcome, then I think that they'll naturally share what they went through and help other people that way.
Right, and it's about helping everybody because some people, like I said, aren't familiar with acupuncture or alternative modalities
Well,
at all.
it's necessary. Yeah. You struck a nerve with me, a note with me, Greg. When I was a kid, I was a really sick kid, and I was diagnosed with asthma. And it's been prednisone, and it's been all these medications and oxygen tents, and such. No one really knew. And I still battle with it, during, seasonally, and that kind of thing. But to have an alternative method like acupuncture to help folks like us is really key, because just Western medicine will hand you a pill,
Yeah.
and then, it has side effects.
So, I think that unfortunately it speaks to your experience speaks to a very common trend, which is the explosion and the rise of allergic disease in industrialized countries. As recent as 30 years ago, really the statistics of people who had asthma or eczema in China was minimal, and now it's exploded just like it has in the United States. So, your experience, just like mine, is very common, and perhaps it's due to the increasing antibiotic use and our lifestyle. Our food is not as good as it used to be, so we're exposed to a lot of chemicals, which are very allergenic. They destroy our body function. So all of these are reasons why we have more disease nowadays. And these are diseases that could be positively influenced by acupuncture or herbal medicine.
Yes, it's great. It's great to have a choice, because you can't keep taking medicine. It's just like if you have chronic pain, Art, and a lot of people that have become addicted to this, it wasn't because they were partying, it's because they had back pain, and the doctor said, here's a Percocet, here's Oxycontin, take it, and within a week, they're looking for more because they don't know what to do. So just having acupuncture as an alternative is so important in these days. Yes?
Oh, absolutely.
I think you have to. I was intrigued by, there's no way to make that detox process, pleasant. You know what I mean? But you're right. If they can get in the right state of mind, you know what I mean? You can make them comfortable. It doesn't have to be that bad.
Yeah.
It can be a little bit less, painful.
Right.
And they came to that point innocently. They came to that point because someone said, take this. This is going to help you. And they took it. They took what hurt them from authority, and there's no place else to go. So that's the hard part.
And even in kids, we tell, parents, like, you were a good parent. You didn't cause it. They told you to give this to them 3 times a day, and as a good parent, that's what you did. You didn't know that, by the end of 7 days that, they're going to be craving more and, going through your grandma's medicine box and their neighbors and friends and anybody
And
else.
that's what's happening, yes? That's what's happening.
Well, that's the whole thing. If it's a prescription drug, there's 2 types of addicts. There's those that party, you know what I mean? And there's those that, had an innocent surgery or a tooth or, whatever it happened to be, and they were on a painkiller and it just was too long and, they got addicted to it. And what happens is, when you run out of it, you're going to go to your neighbors, your grandmas, your relatives, you know what I mean? And you're going to be raiding their medicine cabinets until they catch on to you. You know what I mean? And then that's where it just goes downhill for you from there.
So I'm curious, I guess, like, Maryann, for your experience, do you work with addicts in the addict population? What you do?
Yes, I do. And predominantly, if not massage, it could also be Reiki with the interbody mind-spirit connection, because you have to develop that inner peace. And sometimes people can't achieve that by themselves, or we would try to work with them with meditation, things of that nature. So yes, but each person is different, so different therapies work for different people.
And
So
that's
you
the
just
same
kind
thing
of
with treatment. There's
Right.
different treatments for different people. Somebody might respond to music therapy, but not so much traditional therapy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think what's important is really to recognize that as humans, we have many different capacities. We have different learning styles. Each of us has a unique perspective on the world. But more importantly, there are dimensions to our human experience that are not properly understood. And that we may not have an idea that we have even the capacity to feel. So in Chinese medicine, or if even in martial arts, if someone practices martial arts for a long time, for example, Tai Chi, then they can really build up internal power, and a power that is really impressive to observe, that can be seen and witnessed and felt. And so if you interact with a person like this, you can certainly tell, oh, there's something special about them. Because they've tapped into something that is there in each of us, that we may be not aware of, but they have found a way to connect with it. And I think that also that could be important for recovering from addiction, if you can get to that place that the internal space of yourself, your body, your spirit, that is almost infinite or never-ending, or also connected with spirituality and things like that.
Yeah, and once that is tapped into, then it's good. That's a good way to be.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So that's actually another class we're going to start teaching, spirituality and recovery coaching.
There we go. It's very important. It really is an important part. And going on to our next sponsor, because music is a form of healing, right? We do have Chlanda and Flying Dreams as one of our sponsors of the show of Health and Wellness here on City of Angels Radio.
Thank you, Maryann. Thank you for that.
And if you don't know Chlanda and Flying Dreams, they are a progressive rock band, and they're featuring I can't even talk now. World-renowned musicians.
No, it's world-renowned.
There you go.
World-renowned.
World-renowned musicians. You have Chlanda, yourself, who's originally from Fire Ballet and also toured with Nectar and Renaissance, and now have your own project, The Flying Dreams.
Yep.
And we have Ron Beanstock, who's played with the Suits and other bands and things, and he's also one of the biggest entertainment attorneys out there.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to have your bass player to be your attorney.
It's wonderful.
That's kind of good sometimes.
And
Well,
then-
sometimes it's not good, but sometimes it's good.
Yeah, sometimes.
And then you have on your keys is Kendall Scott, and he's from Project Object and various bands, and super talented. And
Kendall's
then
good.
he was one of the Frank Zappa drummers. Jay Didymo is also in your band.
Yeah,
And
Jay's great.
I hear Kendall's name a lot.
Ken-
Yes.
Going through rock on radio, like a lot.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. No. Kendall is. He's also a session guy, so he plays in a lot of different projects.
Yeah,
and
I
he
hear
has
his
this-
name come up like
Oh,
constantly.
Kendall is just a great player and really on the scene, and we're lucky to have him in the band. He's just great.
And we can, and you're going to have some more upcoming shows. I know that they are in the works, and you just played at the Shrine in Harlem, and then after that you were at Prague Stock.
The Shrine is a really cool place. It's in Harlem. It's a world venue, and it just was a really cool.
Had a nice vibe in there. It was great.
Yeah, it was a
Well,
great.
those are those old style theaters, right?
Well, this is just a small place. This wasn't even a theater. This was just a small, beat-up little club in Harlem where everyone's sitting around in a smoky club, and it was like that. It was that kind of scene, and but it was just really great vibe in that place.
And
So-
they have vinyl record covers covering the ceiling,
Yeah.
all of the walls, like just really old school, and it was really great.
and we had the pleasure of coming home alive.
That's always a good
So
thing.
that's
always
good.
a good thing. 3-hour tour too. I might have to get home. But if you're interested in seeing upcoming concerts and performances by Chlanda Flying Dreams, you could visit them on the web at www.Chlanda, and I will spell that for you because he's missing the vowel here, RYCHECHLANDA, flyingdreams.com. And if you would like
That's actually a Czechoslovakian name.
is it really?
That's right. That's
so
where my
it's
family
Rich
came from.
Chlanda Flying
Did you do
Dreams.
that 23 and me?
It's richlandaflyingdreams.com. And if you're looking for a booking or you're interested in press or anything, you can contact Ann Rinaldi at ann@acrmanagement.com. And I think you mentioned something that you wanted to have a sing-along. And
What are
we
you
are your
talking-
willing victims,
what do you-
Greg and I and
What do
Art.
you mean? What are you talking about?
Oh, now you don't know.
No.
Didn't he promise that, Greg, in the beginning of the
Greg
show?
came to me and said, "Hey, dude, listen, I feel like singing tonight."
I don't know if I quite put it that way, but
And he went through my songbook and said, yeah, "Okay, let's." He chose this song.
Are you sorry you came into the studio
Yes, he's
tonight,
sorry.
Greg?
I always appreciate a good Simon Garfunkel song. It's brilliant. So it's
Yeah. So
Well, so what exactly are you two doing that you'd like to tell our audience so they can sing along at home?
me and Julio, me and Julio, me and Julio.
it's a Latin name, so
It's a who
Right
instead of
here
a.
on the Wealth and Wellness show. No.
I screwed up once.
It's me and Julio down by the play yard. It's me and Julio down by the schoolyard. Look.
He's been eating chocolate, folks, that you might have heard the wrappers and
Well, I
everything
think
while Greg
that-
is sitting here
Yeah,
talking.
I know. I found the stand.
I don't
Yes.
think that it's going to be on the cutting room floor. I must admit that somewhere during the show, Art started waving an almond joy at me or a mounds or something like that. And I started doing this and he threw it at me. And
Dark
it's,
And as
chocolate.
Greg was talking, I hear this wrapper in the thing. Even your, yeah, see?
I think I noticed that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like fire.
I tried to kill his mic, but
It didn't work. So go ahead. I would love to see you two at this now. We're all going to join in. So if you know this song, me and Julio down by the
we.
school.
well, Greg's going to come in for the hooks unless
Just the refrains, really.
just the refrains. And
Yeah.
unless someone calls in and says, no, sing the whole thing.
609-241-7103.
Very good, Maryann. Very, very good. Okay, you all set?
Yes, we're
Art,
all set.
Art, you could join in too. It sounds like someone's falling down the stairs next to me. What, go ahead.
Go
Now,
ahead.
you could play, but play in time with each other.
We're not going to do that.
No, please play. Please play some percussion for me.
Yes, go ahead.
Let Greg only is going to play.
Okay.
Percussion.
Percussion?
Yeah. Mama Pajama rolled out of bed. She ran to the police station. When the papa found out, he began to shout. That's what started the investigation. It was against the law. It was against the law. What the mama saw, it was against the law. Well, the mama looks down and she sat on the ground.
You can't even read the lyrics.
Well, the mama looks down and she spit on the ground every time my name gets mentioned. And the papa says, oh, I'm gonna get that boy. I'm gonna stick him in the house of detention. And I'm on my way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. I'm taking my time, but I won't know where. Well, goodbye, Rosie, Queen of Corona. We see me, you, and Julio down by the schoolyard. We see me, you, and Julio down by the schoolyard.
There you go.
Bravo.
Me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Just a little touch of it, a little touch of it to, just in case somebody wants to bring an acoustic guitar when they visit Greg. Greg will be happy to sing a song with them.
He'll play percussion
He'll play percussion.
with the needles.
I've never done that, but
Just in case, you don't know.
Well, just saying.
can always try.
You could always try that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Richie.
You sounded great.
Oh, yeah.
Both of you sounded great. Greg, you sounded great.
I was really in the background, yeah. So that
Well, you
was
sounded good.
trying
You
to be
sound-
inconspicuous.
You sounded great. You sounded
like
great.
me.
And yeah, both of you are, thanks for your support, both of you. Thank
That's not a problem.
I was eating an almond joy.
you. Yeah, thanks a lot. You have any more? If you have any more, you could throw one over here,
Well, now that we did that, I am going to mention that this here has just come out. This is our new CD, Extreme Chakra Cleansing for a Supercharged Life. And Chlanda here did all of the musical tracks. And I wrote all of the scripts and performed them. And I am happy to announce that this has been submitted for consideration to the Grammys.
Yes, that's great.
Yes, they received it. I've been told they've received it. So
How do you know? How do you know that? What'd you get in the mail?
I got in the mail the slip that says that they've received the package, and they didn't send back the CD, so I'm so excited. So
Hooray.
it's in for consideration, and you can get part of the introductory. Actually, the introductory edition, we have 1,000 CDs that can be autographed by moi and sent to you. And you could find also the downloads and the CDs for sale on bandcamp.com, where you can find this. But keep us in mind for Emmy. Emmy, do you hear me? See, it's just rubbing off what you did. It's a Grammy consideration. But if the Emmy Awards are out there, and would love to just find something for me that I could try to win an Emmy on. Just please, Lord, let me have it.
And as we're all are silent in amazement.
Because you know why? A girl screws up. Even when the time I introduced the show as the Wealth and Hellness Hour, I've never lived it down, Greg, for months now, as you can tell with these two.
It's going to be years.
I really think it's going
You
to
see,
be.
on-
It's a tough crowd sometimes.
It's a
you
tough
know?
crowd. You see,
Yeah.
this is the trick, Maryann,
Yeah.
is when I'm on
Until
stage.
you win your Emmy, then there's going to be skeptics out there.
Well, she might win an Emmy
Yeah.
now. You know,
I think
that's
what we're dealing with.
so when you're on stage, if you make a mistake, don't make anybody aware of it. That's how I go through life. And they don't know. People don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
No,
I-
we don't know.
But you
don't
bring
know.
it to our attention, and then we know.
Well, I have a question actually. How does one come to the realization that they need a chakra cleanse?
A chakra cleanse, well, first of all,
good
we have to
question.
find out if their chakras are dirty. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. And that would be sometimes if you're a person that sometimes if they have breathing issues or they can't relax or they notice that they can't deep breathe or they find themselves fast-paced breathing, or if they get sore throats a lot, things that they can't express, if they start getting conditions on the body, it's something that says an energy could be blocked. And there's 7 chakras that we go through and that we educate people on this. And you're not going to hear fluted in music in this, Greg. There's no birds, there's no ocean sounds and things like that. This is actually doing exercises and working through all the chakras and dealing with it. And it goes through explaining what the chakras are. In the actual chakra meditation is how to work on it, do exercises with it during the meditation. And this teaches you how to meditate kind of with your eyes open.
This is a CD or a DVD?
There is a DVD that has color therapy for each chakra that you could focus on the screen and you will learn how to meditate if you don't know how. And then we also have the CD. So if they want to listen to it in the car or download it from Bandcamp onto their iPods and all their tablets and phones, they can have it accessible at any time. So really, if you start noticing some issues with chakras, could be one of the issues that it's blocked energy, specifically in breathing, relaxation, and teaching people how they can turn their life around by being able to relax, learning how to breathe, and being able to work on those chakras that are specifically designed for the organs that are connected to it.
And if you just feel stressed, you have a very relaxing, as you know, Maryann has a very relaxing voice. And if you just feel stressed, some of the lower chakras, like the root and stuff, it's more dance music. That's right, because it's the root chakra. But,
Right.
But when you get higher from the throat to the third eye to the crown, it's very relaxing. You could put it on to sleep or just to relieve some stress. And Maryann's voice is very calming and very, the scripts are wonderful with affirmations, so it's very helpful.
Yes, and how to help yourself. They're ethereal. They really are when you listen to them. And what's great is you could do the entire chakra cleanse for all 7 chakras, or you could pick and choose which ones you'd like to do. So there's a couple of options there. So thank you for asking that, Greg. And
Sure.
this will be our last sponsor of the show is Lifeline Chiropractic. I must say this with Dr. Carol Iazi from Cranford, New Jersey. And she says your health is your most valuable possession. It's totally up to you to maintain and care for your body and your health. Chiropractic is the best head start you can give your body to a long and healthy life. And you can visit her on the web at lifelinechiropractic.net, or you can call their office at 908-653-1440. Lifeline Chiropractic, Dr. Carol Iazzi in Cranford, New Jersey.
Do you know her? She's right by the Salt place.
The Salt Cave.
The Salt Cave.
The Salt Cave.
I wanted to go to the Salt Cave.
Yeah, that's.
We have to take
what's
a
that
field
about?
trip.
What is that about?
I will tell you all about it on another future show. Absolutely.
Archie just told me to shut up, I think,
In a polite way.
in a polite way.
No, I didn't. I'm just saying
That
behind
was
every
salty.
behind every good man is a better woman. There it is.
That was like an Academy Award moment. You know?
I know.
He brought me off the stage. But I have another question for you, Greg. And there's
Frankly,
two things.
Charlotte, I don't give a damn.
I heard from patients, and I've witnessed, that you do a technique that is called cupping.
Sure, sure.
And I am familiar with it. But can you tell our listeners and explain what cupping is and how it's done?
Yeah. So, so people might be more familiar now with cupping because of Michael Phelps, who's a famous Olympic swimmer, and the U.S. American swim team. You can watch them on YouTube. They actually speak about cupping and how it's improved their ability to compete. And really what it does is it's a musculoskeletal therapy. It alleviates soft tissue tension, pain, overuse type injuries. It's just suction. Use any sort of cup, but we use a glass cup. You could use a plastic cup, and you can use fire to accomplish some vacuum, and that creates a suction. So, if you're not used to using that type of method, I wouldn't recommend it at home because you might light yourself on fire or your friend on fire. So it can be dangerous. But if you know what you're doing, it's great. Otherwise, you can totally do it for yourself, and there's pneumatic cupping sets. So you just use a pump, and actually you put a cup on your body, for example, on your shoulder or the back of your neck, and you squeeze the pump, and it creates some suction, and that little piece of tissue is sucked up for maybe about a minute, couple minutes. You take it off, and it feels a lot more relaxed, and it feels comfortable. And you really notice an immediate effect. But I wouldn't recommend leaving it on longer than a few minutes because that could create problems. I think that the internet is filled with these horrible images of people who had cupping for too long and their skin is all bruised and it's all red, and you don't want to be that person.
No, you don't.
Don't do that.
Absolutely not.
You said cupping. What about tapping? What's tapping?
Tapping is EFT. The tapping.
That's
Cupping
something
is
completely
different. No,
different.
these are actual cups. They're
Oh.
little plastic
Yeah.
cups. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yes, they are. Now, I do have to ask this because I saw it. It says, this sounds complicated, but moxibustion.
Sure.
What is moxibustion? I want to know.
Sure. So in Mandarin Chinese, acupuncture is known as Zhenzhou, and that's typically delivered with acupuncture and also moxibustion, particularly in the north of China because it's very cold. For example, Beijing, the winters are very cold. Moxibustion is a leaf from the mugwort plant, and it's also known as Artemisia vulgaris, and it's dried. And the longer that it's aged, there's different grades of this leaf. There's high quality, and it looks like yellow. It's kind of like golden color. It's like a wool. It's almost like a wool. It's an herbal wool. Anyway, you can roll it up and you could create like a shape with it, either a rice-sized shape or a little pyramid. This can be placed on the body, and you light it, and it slowly warms the tissue deep down into your body. Great for arthritis, great for cold-type disorders. You can use it over the top of the body. You don't have to actually touch the body with it. It creates a lot of smoke, so that's another concern for some practitioners who might be working in a certain office. They don't want to use it because of the smoke issue. Also, it takes a lot of time. So in Japan, they actually have people in the clinics to actually just do acupuncture. So the acupuncturist is doing acupuncturist, they're doing acupuncture, the patient lays down, and then they have a person who just does moxibustion because it takes so much time, so actually they can help with the treatment. So, Maryann, if you want to help me with moxibustion, I'd appreciate that.
I would love to.
Okay.
Moxibustion. It sounds like so. I don't know if that's like the new Marvel movie coming out. Moxibustion.
But basically, it's heat therapy. That's basically what it is. It's
Yeah.
heat therapy.
I don't think I want anything Bustian done to me.
Yeah.
It sounded interesting.
It's
I
really,
was just like,
it's really comfortable.
It sounds interesting if you're
Yeah.
watching somebody else get it done.
It's wonderfully soothing, I have to say.
Well, I got the invitation to help you, and I am taking that invitation.
Well, this
I
stuff-
would love to.
Even if it's foreign art, it probably works. This stuff works. I mean, it's been around for so many thousands of years and with great results.
Right.
So
again, Greg, how can people find you if they have questions about acupuncture? How can they find you?
I would say just go to the internet or your website, oldbridgeacupuncture.com or healthinmotion.biz. Those are the two places.
Those are the two places.
Yes.
And I'd love to give out the phone number too as well if I can.
Sure.
The Old Bridge location, that number is 732-952-5944. Or the Westfield, New Jersey location is 908-301-9055. And I'm assuming that can they talk to you online anywhere? Is it at the websites? Do you have an email?
Yeah, you can connect with me online just via my Old Bridge Acupuncture website. You can send me a message on there if you'd like, or go to my Facebook page, Old Bridge Acupuncture on Facebook, and send me a message there if you'd like, or a call.
Well, Greg, I want to thank you so much for coming on to the Health and Wellness Show. You are a wealth of knowledge, really. And I'd
Thank
love
you
for
for
you to
having
come
me.
back because you are fascinating and to talk about all the modalities that you do, and particularly acupuncture and how it might be able to help the community here at City of Angels. You're a godsend. So thank you so much for coming on the show and being a part of it.
Thank you for sharing it with me.
And thank you for putting up with our shenanigans like always.
It was a good time.
It was good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe that hour and a half flew by, and I thank you so much for listening. Our next show will be in November, and we will come up on a date with that and get back to you on that because Thanksgiving is that third and right after our third Wednesday show would be Thanksgiving. So want to see if our special guest would want to come in that date. So we will be posting it, so stay tuned on Facebook and also online at coeradio.com, and we'll let you know when our next show is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. I'm Maryann Castello, your show host, and from all of us here, Ryche, Chlanda, or Ackerman, thank you. Have a good night, and we'll see you next month on the Health and Wellness Show.
Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right.